Mirror, mirror on the wall, what's the worst legendary battle mech of them all? Well, the answer came back as the Wolverine STARSHOT. Not because it's completely unusable, but because compared to the other 34 legendary battle mechs, it really does struggle to have a strong reputation with players. Until this came along, I didn't even know that the STARSHOT was a legendary mech. I just saw it and was like, all right, whatever, I didn't know it was even a medium for that matter. I didn't know because I've never seen anybody drive a Wolverine STARSHOT on the battlefield. And I've been playing this game for years. Here's why. Underwhelming weapons layout. You have two hard points in the center torso, which are your energy points. And at a first glance of reading about it, you wouldn't think that this is going to really be that beneficial. But it does have 4 slots, so you can do something with it. Average damage output, it honestly just doesn't feel like with the original build loadout that it's going to do really well. Quirk package. It doesn't really sing into any particular thing really well. It does have quirks for the light AC2s and AC5s, but then it also has quirks unrelated to those 2 items for the machine guns. So that doesn't work incredibly well. There's nothing for the missile point that it has, and there's nothing realistically for the energy points. There's no massive cooldown, no cool features in that regard. Outclassed basically by its competition. Many other hero mechs or legendary mechs that you're going to be buying for your money can do better than this can. Even if you were to get the War Emu, which is a legendary assault mech, and put the worst loadout on it, it still is going to do an amazing job. Community reception. Nobody's really a dedicated fan to the STARSHOT. I haven't seen anybody come across and say, oh yeah, I'm so happy I purchased the STARSHOT. I've never seen it. The number of times I've ever seen a STARSHOT on the battlefield is almost non-existent. And the number of times I've ever seen the crown for it, the stars, I've never seen it. So that's why I picked this for my garbage to greatness. Because I think I can make this into something that's actually going to be really good. So here we go. We're going to take it down the rabbit hole, and I'm going to drive this thing until I can make it great. One way or another. Mirror, mirror on the wall was right about this mech being one of the worst of them all. But that's if you run the original build. And we're not going to do that. I'm going to show you 2 different builds for this that actually work really well, that leverage the capabilities of this mech extremely well. But first, we got to talk about the original build. The original build had a terrible paint job. It came with 2 SNUB PPCs in the center torso, a single SRM4 in the left torso, and then it came with the 6 light machine guns. Now, the 6 light machine guns alone, they're great. There's quirks for range boost and rate of fire boost, which is really nice. And if you decided not to run those and run with maybe some light AC2s or AC5s, they're quirks that give you ammo. This also has some structure bonuses for the center torso and left and right arms, and then left and right arm base armor improvements as well. So it gives you a little bit better tankability with this overall build. But the original build has got some problems. The first thing is the snubs have a range of 270 meters, which means you got to let people get close and personal so you can do some damage. And then when they do get close enough for you to use those are your primary weapons, and the SRM4 is probably not going to do a lot of damage to help you. The light machine guns are only going to be really all that useful once the main armor has been stripped away on the mech, and then you can really let those light machine guns sing into them. But the original build is really lacking in a lot of different places, and we're going to take a look at that and then see where my 2 builds really fit into this thing and make this mech really sing. But what do you think of my paint scheme? I think my paint scheme looks way better. And it's got the crown on there, so you can tell I've finished the battle pass, and I've done several matches with this. And I've tried all kinds of different things. I've tried mag shots, I've tried light AC2s, at least in the test map. And I've tested this with MRM, LRM, Thunderbolt, SRMs. I've done light PPCs. I did actually a heavy PPC once in the center torso. Not terrible, but whatever. I tried a binary laser. I've tried all kinds of things. And I come up with 2 builds that I think that really work best for this. And we're going to see those in a minute. But first, let's go to the store. So here we find ourselves in the store, and you can see this original paint scheme is just terrible. And my build, as far as the weapons go, and the OEM build actually look pretty similar, except for the missile pod here. So let's take a look at this thing up close. So the armor is terrible. It has standard armor, not even light armor or ferrous armor, just standard. It has 5 double jump sets on board, which is nice, but I felt like it was kind of unnecessary. The SNUB PPCs do 10 damage each, but you have to get close enough to be able to use them. You don't want this to be a tip of the spear build because it simply just doesn't have the firepower. There's mechs on the battlefield that have more armor and more weapons that are going to absolutely take you apart really quickly if you run this build. And you're going to find this to be, I feel like it's kind of lacking. If you decided that you wanted to run SNUB PPCs, they weigh the same amount as the light machine guns do. And you could probably get those on there, and that would still be a pretty decent improvement. I tried the mag shots in several matches. I just couldn't get used to it. Maybe you'll like the mag shots better. I don't know. It's up to you. If I was to change this around a little bit, maybe I would go with light PPCs, mag shots, and maybe an SRM6, and maybe that would work a little bit better. And, you know, changing the armor out obviously would make a difference, but 12 armor in the rear, seriously, that's insane to me. So, the original features of this original setup, the heat management is 1.24, firepower is 54.1, speed is 81, which is nice. And it does have pretty decent jump jets on board. And as I promised before, it does have some quirks. So it has a chest EC build bonus of plus 30. It has a firepower for the machine guns range boost of 20% and rate of fire of 30%. And as I promised, ammo capacity improvements for the light AC2 and AC5 are on here. And then we already talked about the armor. So ultimately, this is not a terrible build, but you have to let people get close enough for you to be able to use the weapon systems. Let's take a look at my build. So my build has 3 less jump jets, and then I replaced the SRM4 with an MRM 30. That is a huge improvement. I replaced the SNUB PPCs with light PPCs. Now, the SNUBs do 10 damage each, but they have to get close enough for you to be able to use them. These have a range of 540 meters, and they're only 5.5 damage. But the benefit of it is that you don't have to get as close to be able to do some decent damage on the battlefield. And more importantly, we have an MRM system on here now, which is going to reach out as also further than the SNUBs did. So the SNUBs were kind of do double duty, but they didn't have the range really to boost to do much more than that. So at 540 meters, the SNUBs really just didn't do very much damage. So with this build, we have a double heatsink on board, and then we have an MRM 30, which is going to reach all the way out to 550 meters. We have 2 light PPCs, which are going to reach out to 540 meters optimum. And then we still have the light machine guns, and we have a double heatsink. Now, the original heat management for the original build was 1.24 and a firepower of 55. This has a firepower of 66.5, has a heat management of 1.32, which means you can fire more often. And though the speed isn't as good as the original build is, 73.6 is still respectable. The jump jets aren't as good as the original build was, but the benefit is you can still use them, you still have them. and you can use them for getting up on top of a structure or something and being able to do damage downrange. So we're still taking advantage of the firepower, range, and rate of fire on the light machine guns because we still have the light machine guns on board. So this is all a benefit. Everything is working really well here. Let me show you my other build. My other build sacrifices the double heatsink for an extra ton of ammo, but we have an MRM-40 now, and we have two medium pulse lasers, which are going to do 6 damage each versus the original 5.5 of the light PPCs. Now, granted, these don't have the range that the light PPCs did, and it's closer to the ranges of the SNUB PPCs, but this is still a pretty reasonable build in my opinion, because we still have pretty decent heat management. The original build had 1.24, this is 1.28. The original build had 55 damage. This has 77.5. Doesn't have the speed of the original build, but it definitely has jump jets still on board and better heat management and, once again, full armor. So this is not a terrible build. How I would use this build here is I would strike with the MRM-40 and then maybe pepper them with the light PPCs if they're close enough, but otherwise I would use the light PPCs to accentuate the light machine guns, stripping armor and doing damage once the mech is damaged enough. But my original build, I feel like it really leverages really well in the fact that you can do buttons 1 and 2 to fire these. You can do alpha strikes with these for a little bit and then go to chain fire and still be able to do decent damage, but more importantly, you're going to be able to support other mediums and then heavies and assaults on the battlefield. And by doing that, you're going to really leverage the capability of this mech, and also it's being able to keep that armor on board a little bit longer and have better matches, as you'll see in the matches coming up. I took both of these builds that I came up with into the battlefield, and then this one just really came out on top, and it wasn't surprising to me, honestly, at all. This build just seems to work a little bit better. Now, as far as the skills trees goes across this, let's take a look. It's identical on both these builds, by the way. I went with full cooldown. I didn't care so much about range because I wanted to get out to about 500 meters anyways. And at 500 meters, all of these weapons are doing damage. That is a really nice thing. They're not doing perfect damage, but at 500 meters, everything is doing damage. And that's what I wanted. Heat generation. Absolutely a must. Put as much in here as I possibly could. But I still wanted velocity because all three of my weapon systems benefit from having velocity, so it's really useful. Ammo capacity for the machine guns. That 1 ton's going to go pretty quickly. Missile rack. Absolutely. 2 tons of ammo. That works out to basically 800 missiles between the 2 tons. So 800 missiles for an MRM-30 is going to give you a pretty good amount of firepower for a good amount of time until you lose them or whatever. But we also have tighter missile spread, so more chances of doing better damage, and then high explosive, which is going to give us that critical damage output. Survivability, we have skeletal density, armor hardening, and reinforced casing. I'm always an override, and if you don't think override is necessary, think of it this way. In the skills tree, they have overheat damage protection because they know people who run override. There you go. Speaking of heat management, cool run, and heat containment, this to me is just more survivability. These are a must. Absolutely a must. You can put 2 UAVs on this build, or you can save and use those 2 UAVs for other things and put seismic sensor on board. Seismic sensor is going to work in the basement. It's going to work in places where you can't put up a UAV. And more importantly, it's going to let people know exactly which direction they're coming from, so that way you're ready for them when they peek the corner. I went with a single cool shot and 2 artillery strikes. Ultimately, I think this is a really good build, and I feel like I'm leveraging on the capabilities of the Wolverine really well. It's not really tall. It has, in my opinion, really good hit boxes. I feel like it's a better version of a Centurion, honestly. And considering that Mirror said that this is one of the worst legendary mechs of all time, I have to argue that and say that if you run the right build on this, this is one of the better legendary mech picks on the battlefield, especially for a medium. I'll put this against the Spectre any day of the week.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
This is command. Eliminate all enemies, no matter the cost.
Override engaged.
Look at your override, Gene.
Yes, override check.
Fuel at 25%.
Target spotted.
Contact Gulf 6 gas station.
Got some lights are going to be pushing around the I-8, H8 area.
Copy.
Target spotted.
Target acquired. Artillery strike activated.
Yeah. Have at least 3 going around towards H8.
Target spotted.
Make that 4.
Alright, that's enough.
Artillery strike
Time to move in
online.
that direction, I guess.
Target spotted.
Golf low. Quite a lot of heavy to Hotel 7.
Artillery strike activated.
I gotta wait until somebody gets close enough so I can do any damage.
target acquired. Warning, incoming missile. Warning, incoming missile.
Enemies are half depleted. Keep pushing. We're experiencing some losses. Don't get sloppy out there.
Not bad. I like my other build better.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Spotted.
Artillery strike
Target
online.
spotted.
New target acquired.
Target spotted. Target spotted. Target spotted.
Bane, if I was you, I'd come back to the group.
Target spotted. Need assistance. Target spotted.
New target acquired.
Target spotted. Target spotted. Target spotted.
Oh, crap.
New target acquired.
We're experiencing some losses. Don't get sloppy out there. Of the enemies are eliminated. Target spotted.
Warning, incoming missile. Artillery strike. Heat level critical.
Target spotted.
New target acquired.
Target spotted.
Destroyed. Target acquired.
Target spotted.
Machine gun armor at 25%. Heat level
The
critical.
enemies are half depleted. Keep pushing. Thanks.
Target acquired.
Need assistance.
Fuel at 20%.
Target spotted.
We're in ammo at 25%. New target acquired.
Need assistance. Target spotted.
Machine gun ammo
soldiers.
Critical. Critical. Critical damage.
Target spotted.
Warning. Incoming. Missile. Shutdown.
Overheating. But boy, that was a good match.
Come in. Control the surface. Can anyone read?
Yeah. Well, I had a suicide. And only 16 team damage, but, you know, it's 16 team damage still, though. I had 6 assists, 2 KMDD, 708 damage. I did 1 component destruction, and I got 3 savior kills. So I definitely supported the team and did my job. As far as the match goes, looks like I had top damage on my team, and 3rd place for the entire match. Not bad for a support mech. Not bad at all. My final conclusions on this build is that the STARSHOT is a very capable mech for being able to defend itself and also be able to support the firing line, whether it's dealing with heavies or assaults on your team, helping them dish out the damage and be able to take some damage as well. You can share armor with this fairly well because it does have the ability to really dish out the damage, but also be able to take the damage as well. And the headdress really does its part by mesmerizing people on the battlefield. They look at it and go, "Oh, pretty," and then you hit them with M or M30 and a couple of light PPCs, along with, you know, the sustained fire that the machine guns are going to give you. And while they're going, "Oh, pretty," you strip their armor. So yeah, I think that's really going to work. And yeah, I don't know if the headdress is going to do much, but it might at least distract people for a moment before they try to give you a headshot and take that head off with it. It'd be kind of nice if you could actually take 1 trophy items like arms and legs and a head and attach it to your mech later on as like a trophy case piece item, you know, like a skull or something. But anyway, that's going to do it for this build, and I'm going to be doing another build coming up soon on the Dragon Flame, and I'm hoping I can get that into a garbage to greatness build as well, but this is definitely a greatness build. I'm absolutely impressed with this.